Why so many hotel workers are going on strike.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by UKG. UKG is a partner that delivers HR, pay, time, and culture solutions designed to help build a great workplace for everyone. UKG, our purpose is people.
From Marketplace, I'm Sabri Benishore in for David Brancaccio. Strikes are continuing today at several large hotel chains. More than 10,000 hotel workers went on strike over the holiday weekend in 9 cities, including Baltimore, San Francisco, Boston, and Honolulu. Workers are demanding higher pay, adjusted workloads, and a return to some pre-pandemic conditions. Marketplace's Henry Epp has more.
When pandemic lockdowns upended the travel industry, many hotel companies cut back their staffing and stopped offering some services like daily room cleaning. The Unite Here union, which represents many hotel workers, says that some companies never brought those services back and didn't rehire enough staff after the pandemic subsided, even as travelers returned to hotels. The union says that's caused some workers to lose jobs and income and left remaining hotel employees to pick up heavier workloads. So far, contract negotiations between the union and hotel chains have been unsuccessful. Both Hyatt and Hilton have said they're willing to continue negotiations, according to media reports. Marriott has not publicly commented. Strikes over the weekend were scheduled to wrap up today, though the union said workers in additional cities have also authorized walkouts. Last year, hotel workers won new contracts in Los Angeles and at casinos in Detroit, where workers were on strike for 47 days. I'm Henry Epp for Marketplace.
Labor Day marked the unofficial end to the busiest summer air travel season on record. On average, 2.7 million people passed through TSA screening each day this summer. All of those travelers depended on air traffic controllers. These are the people who keep planes safely separated from each other. And there has been a shortage of air traffic controllers for decades. In May, the Federal Aviation Administration said it was short 3,000 controllers. One of the factors behind that, all air traffic controllers have to train at a single academy in Oklahoma City. Marketplace's Daniel Ackerman looked into a federal effort to change that.
Walk into the tower simulator at Vaughn College in New York City, and you feel like you're in a real airport control tower, except those wraparound windows are actually computer screens.
So you can simulate day, night, snow, fires on the airport.
Sharon DeVivo is the school's president.
Scenarios that students we hope will never see, but they train on those.
Vaughn is one of several schools seeking federal approval for its graduates to go straight to work for the FAA. The program aims to decentralize the training for air traffic controllers, so students and instructors won't all have to relocate to the FAA Academy in Oklahoma City. Nathan Eisbinger is professor of aviation at the University of North Dakota.
Given that there is only one location, they only have so many simulators, they only have so many staff that can put students through.
The FAA says it will select colleges to participate in the new program starting in the next school year. I'm Daniel Ackerman for Marketplace.
All right, let's do the numbers. The FTSE in London is down 0.6%. S&P and Dow futures are both down about 0.5%. Dow futures down 207 points. NASDAQ futures down 0.6%. Yield on the 10-year Treasury is 3.886%.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Schwab. Schwab knows that investors want control of their financial future. That's why when it comes to wealth management, Schwab is dedicated to giving investors more choices. More at schwab.com. And by C3 Generative AI. Verified, traceable answers. Secure, hallucination-free, LLM-agnostic, IP liability-free C3.ai. This is Enterprise AI.
Well, a lot of people spend this Labor Day weekend barbecuing, hanging out with friends. A lot of other people spent it moving. It's a big move-in weekend for a lot of renters. May to September are the busiest months for lease turnovers, which means, thanks to good old supply and demand, this is also often the most expensive time to be looking for a new place, demand being so high. And it's true that recently rent prices have been moderating along with overall inflation. Nationally, they went up just 0.2% in the second quarter this year, according to Harvard's Joint Center for Housing Studies. But rents are still extremely elevated compared to just a few years ago. Marketplace's Samantha Fields reports.
New York City just hit an inauspicious milestone. The median rent for a one-bedroom apartment is now $4,500.
That's a 13% growth year on year. That is extraordinary.
Anthemos Georgiadis is the CEO of Zumper, and he says in the decade plus that his company has been around and tracking rents,
we've never seen a median rent for one bedroom in any market cross $4,500.
New York has always been a notoriously expensive place, but he says this is a whole new level.
You've just seen supply grow, but grow kind of too slowly to kind of absorb all this demand, and this is becoming kind of unsustainably expensive.
New York may be an outlier, but Peyton Whitney at Harvard's Joint Center for Housing Studies says rents have become unsustainably expensive in much of the country.
Rents now sit almost 21% above what they were 5 years ago. It's unattainable for most households.
Much of that jump happened in 2021 and 2022. These days, rent growth is much slower.
What we see at our most recent reading nationally is growth of 0.2%, which is significantly different from the 15.3% that we saw in early 2022.
But the national numbers only tell part of the story. There are big regional differences. Chris Salviati at Apartment List says rent is still rising significantly in some cities, mostly in the Northeast and Midwest, while in others, namely in the South, it's actually come down.
We're in the midst of really a historic surge of new multifamily inventory hitting the market. The places where rents are declining fastest are the places where there's the most competition happening from all this new supply.
Take Austin, Texas. A lot of new apartments have been built there and helped bring rents down about 6 or 7% from a year ago. But Salviati says he doesn't expect to see rent drop all that much nationally.
I think maybe what's more likely is that we would see prices just kind of stagnate and level off for a couple of years, and potentially that gets us closer to where we would have been.
Where we would have been if the pandemic and the big rent spike of 2021-22 hadn't happened. I'm Samantha Fields for Marketplace.
Our producers are James Graham, Naomi Rainey, Nick Perez, Ariana Rosas, Alex Schroeder, and Erica Soderstrom. Our senior producer is Meredith Gerritsen-Morby. In New York, I'm Sabri Benishore with the Marketplace Morning Report. From 8 p.m., American Public Media.